Today, I have someone who is an expert in Amazon product photography.
Well, I'm not a expert in Amazon. Yeah, I've been doing
Now,
great.
Mr. Faizan is going to disclose all of that so that we as a seller can use those and improve our listing.
Technical requirements. Okay, so there are few formats which are allowed by the Amazon. Color mode is also very important. Like you can see that the sRGB and the CM.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, today I have a very special guest with me. Today, I have someone who is an expert in Amazon product photography. He have consulted few million-dollar brands in consulting their images, in-house brand content, types of infographics they should use. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Faizan here. Hello, Mr. Faizan. How are you?
Hello, Sammy. Thank you so much for such a great introduction. Well, I'm not a expert in Amazon. Yeah, I've been doing great. Yeah, thank you so much for the brilliant introduction. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So, today, what we are going to discuss, we are not going to discuss the traditional Amazon advertising and all, but rather we are going to discuss more about images. Because as a brand, as a seller, you must know how to increase your conversion rate of your listing. Moreover, how to get more CTR in your ads. And the only way you can get it is by having a good offer and the quality of main image. So today, Mr. Faizan is going to share a lot of case studies, some portfolios that he have done previously for some of the brands. Moreover, we are not going to discuss the traditional what images you can use, what A plus content you can use, but he is going to deep dive into the technicalities of the backend. So all those things that we have never seen, that only the designer they knows. Now Mr. Faizan is going to disclose all of that so that we as a seller can use those and improve our listing. So Mr. Faizan, I'll hand over the screen to you. You can share the screen and you can show the your case studies that you have prepared for the audience.
Thank you, Sammy. Okay, just give me a second.
We can
Yeah.
see.
Okay. So first of all, talking about technical requirements. Okay. So there are few formats which are allowed by the Amazon, like TIFF, JPEG, GIF, and PNGs. So these are some of the formats which are allowed by the Amazon. But here I will recommend just go for the JPEGs, because the JPEGs are compressed file formats, and their file size is very small. And so so JPEGs are, I think JPEG is the thing to go with, because they are highly compressed and are for the web. And the TIFF are actually for the printable purposes, and GIF are some of the uh, which are moving images, and the PNGs are the transparent but having a lot of details in it. So GIF is the thing to go with. Okay, and and the color mode is also very important. Like you can see that the sRGB and the CMYK are allowed by the Amazon, but the sRGB is actually dedicated for for the web and for the computer screens, and the CMYK is for the printable documents. So here the sRGB is the thing to go with it. So these are two of the main factors we should consider. And the third one is just the naming it, how you can name it. So there is not such a problem in uploading a content with just any name, but sometimes a problem occurs when there are spaces, dashes, like you are using some special characters. The files are not uploading onto to the Amazon. So these are some of the problems. So actually, so these are the problems. But otherwise than that, there is no issue in uploading with any name. But they actually prefer using their essence. So if you are a product, so use the ID of your product to name it. So these are the technical requirements for the images actually. Now talking about the images itself. So total number of the product images which are allowed by the Amazon are actually 9. So the most important image is our hero image. Okay, the hero image is actually our main image, which is displayed on our when someone searches your product, it is a display image of the, it is actually the face of your product. Okay, and for the main images, it should be on white background. But there are sometimes the you cannot make visibility of the product. If the product is transparent product, then there are chances that your product is not visible on the white background itself. Okay, so in this situation, you can also use black background for let's for example, if the product is like tracing paper. So tracing paper itself is very translucent, and you cannot actually display and show its transparency on the white background itself. So in this situation, you can actually use the black background. But other than that, it is preferable to use the white background. And apart from that, there are a few more things, like you cannot use the illustration to show your main image, because illustrations are not allowed for actually the main image itself. But for the rest of the images, yeah, you can use the illustration itself. And the image should be on a white background, RGB color, 255 for red, green, and blue. So that's actually a pure white color. And other thing, your main image should be covering 85% of the canvas. The canvas, I mean, it does the square format they allowed to display the image. Okay, um, and if your image is very small, then Amazon algorithm is doing it for you. So it's better you do it by yourself. Otherwise, if you're uploading an image and Amazon by itself cropping the image, then the problem here is that the image will be very pixelated, because a lot of the portion is clipped by the Amazon itself. So these are some of the things you should take into the mind when you are actually going for the main images. Now, for the rest of the images, there are actually for rest of the images, total 9 images are allowed, in which 6 images are displayed. And if you are uploading a video, then your seventh image thumbnail will not be visible. Even eighth and ninth image thumbnail will not be visible. But when you will select the image and use arrow keys to move forward, then you see there is an image at the eighth place and the ninth place. And then we talk about the uploading of the photos. While uploading the photo to the Amazon, uh, we make mistakes sometimes, like naming it wrong, like using if you are using special characters and they are not accepting it. So this is a very common mistake, like using spaces. So often a time the image is rejected based upon just the naming. So it's better to name it with essence, or please don't use any dashes or special characters. Um, Apart from that, this is just for there are two types of uploading. One is just you are uploading a single images by yourself. The other one is you are using bookloader, in which bookloader is actually a template in which it's actually an Excel template in which you just put all the information into it, and the photos are actually uploaded in bulk. So this is in the bookloader. So these are two types of uploading the photos to the Amazon. And then there's another thing, that there's a restriction of the file size. So you should keep your file size maximum up to 10 MBs, and that's why I was saying that JPGs are the best to use. and the maximum dimensions are 2000 pixels. So you should not cross 2000 by 2000, otherwise Amazon will crop the image, or maybe they will scale down your image and then make it 2000 by 2000. So it's better to make your image into 2000 by 2000 pixels, covering 85% of the canvas area. And as far as the dimension is concerned, you will see that most of the images are in square 1:1. But there is one thing, like some products are big enough in length and someone is quite bigger in the width. So so in this regard, you can actually change your dimension, but should not go over 2:1. So this is the maximum of it. So it's the kind of restriction that you should not cross. It's actually the limit by the Amazon itself. um, yeah. Apart from that, there's one important thing to keep in mind, that the DPI of the image is very important. It should not be more than 300 DPIs. Preferably, you should go for 32 DPI. And the color mode, you should try to keep it to the sRGB. Sami, is there's an important thing I would like to mention,
Okay.
that is, when your image size is less than 1000 by 1000, you won't see any magnifier over it, in which you're gonna click and zoom and see the details of the image. So you should use 2000 by 2000 image, so uh, we can click and see magnification of the product. So it's better to use in the maximum resolution allowed by the Amazon.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And there's another thing that you have mentioned, which is very important, that the DPI that you have said, it should be preferably 32 DPI and at max 300, I guess. So I think when we upload an image in Amazon, it compresses the file, and while it compresses, the image becomes really yellowish and
Yeah.
contrasty, like the saturation becomes high. So
Yes.
that is what, in order to avoid that particular thing, you are recommending that 32 DPI, right?
Semi, it's actually 72 dpis.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
72 DPI. Yeah, okay.
Yes, and the problem of the color, I think, appears because you are using CMY. CMYK is for the printables,
Okay,
print item. So
okay,
when you are uploading to it, the algorithm changes into the sRGBs and the colors looks horrible. So better to use
okay.
the screen color modes, which is sRGB.
So I think now the seller and the brand knows what they have to tell to the designer exactly, right?
Yes, so these are few of the requirements. Yeah, if you meet it, I won't see any much of the problem.
Yeah, so I will just attach this file in the below the video as well, and all the audience can download from there as well. And now, can we move towards some examples?
Okay, so for that purpose, we have two products which we're gonna talk about today, and the one is the food thermometer, and the second one is green mask. So starting with the green mask itself. So here is the product. Yeah, this one. So this one is the product. As the name indicates, it's a natural product. It's a green mask stick. So the theme we are going to make for this kind of the products, which actually depicts that it's green by itself and it's good for the skin. We have to show the nature. We have to show the cool the actually show the colors of the nature in the images. So the same, my team has done the great work, and have used the green color theme for it. So when we are starting the project, so there are two approaches. The first one is, the client actually tell us what we are going to make. So in this condition, We are very clear what the brand guidelines are, what the brand color is, and the what the copywriting text we are going to use in our design. So the things become very easier for us. And in the second case is just the client wants the listing to be done, and he has not any kind of uh, competitor research. He don't explain us any pain points or anything, and in this case we have to do all the things by ourselves. So it's actually not one person work, it's actually a combined effort from the person from different fields. For example, like this product is captured photo shoot by a photographer, then edited by a designer, and then the copywriter have provided us the text so we can write into it. So it's the combined effort. And sometimes we go for the 3D rendered images, in which we need a 3D render artist who is actually making modeling the design in the softwares like Blender, Maya, etc. So it's actually a lot of we require actually a lot of people to do the work for us. And sometimes we are hiring the models and not using the stock images. So it's actually combined effort of a team. Then we have a very good images available to our clients. So for this product, this one was our main image, and it's not square actually, because the product itself was very big in the height actually. If we see the other images, this one we say this is feature images, like in showing ingredients, like what's included in it. So the third images show us how what's the effect of it, what's the end result of this product. So this is the result of using the product. The same this is the process of how we use it, and how what the process of applying it to the face. So this is the image depicting the process, how do you gonna apply it, and then gonna rinse it to the water, and then you have your fine glowing skin. This actually covers the same idea like we have covered before. So actually sometimes it happens that we are having not a lot of data available to us, so we have to represent it in different ways and different images. It's talking about like how it's suitable for people of for every people person of every skin type.
Yeah, I really like the way you represent the avatar who is going to buy this product.
Yeah.
So then you are showing how it will look when she will apply it on her face. So I think
Yes.
if I would be the buyer, it would really be good for me, and it will help me to make the decision that how it can look like, right? I think it solves
Yes.
a lot of questions for the buyer, and it is obviously necessary for increasing more conversion rate.
Yes. So in this image, like there are the infographics trying to explain the things with infographics instead of writing just the text. So the things it's become very easier to understand. Like what you are actually trying to explain things using infographics and the splash. So showing that it's good for the skin actually. These are the listing images for the green mask. I think we should go for the EBC design.
Yeah, yeah.
Talking about the EBCs, EBC, I think it's actually you should most of the many of the I have seen many of the brands they don't have an EBC, like only have they are just um, having good pricing, and they don't want to spend money on to the EBC actually. But EBC actually give you a chance to actually explain your product, or to tell a story about your product. So it's always better and recommended to use to take the advantage and and have and apply the EBC content. For the EBC, there are many modules allowed. Um, it's text is even allowed. You can use the images with text, without text, um, text on the left, text on the right, three images in one module, but they become very small images like 300 by 300. In the module, you can upload four images in a single module, which is 220, 220 into 220. That's very small image by itself. So that's actually a very small image that does not actually, you don't have much of the space to explain the things, and for as a designer it become very difficult to design an image for such a small image size. So preferably we go for the full width banner size, that's 970 by 600 pixels. So in this banner size we can uh, explain our product in a much better way. Like for example, this one is the full width banner in which it covers like full width on Amazon, and with that you can even use text. So it's better to go for the modules which are actually which gives you more space, so you can talk more about your brand, you can explain your things better, you have more space.
Yeah, I really like the way of representing the text, and this is a really big text, and I think you have done it because in mobile the image becomes
Yes.
very small, and
Yeah.
970 to 600, that module takes the whole width of the screen, and this text will look big. If we use any other text or smaller kind of text, then I think the customer can't read it through mobile screen. uh,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. So most of the time we are actually using this module to tell a story. So if you want to write more text, you can while uploading the EBC, there's an option to add text to it, so you can later on add text to it. So it's better to use a full width banner. And apart from that, you can also have some interactive modules in which you can, it's like for if you are allowed for the A plus plus content, which is actually by invitable by the Amazon itself. So if A plus plus, if you are if Amazon have given you access for that, you should actually go for that module because that's very interactive module.
I
And
think only brand accounts have
yeah,
access to those, and very few sellers have access to
yeah,
those.
very few invite only by the Amazon. So
Yeah, I think we can see those in Apple products, Samsung products very often, right?
yes, yes. So for if but you can actually tell a lot of using the EBC itself. So please you should go for that EBC itself. So this is how your EBC going to look like. This is the preview.
Wow.
So it's actually the same color like you see. It's the green color theme thoroughly. So it's not
Yeah.
like you are mixing up the colors and confusing it. Just take the colors of the product, or make a theme with
Oh,
few colors.
so you're using the brand colors all the time, right?
um, yeah, it's good to use the brand colors, but it's not necessary, I will say. But you can use other colors, but using many colors, it become very difficult to manage and do justice with the lot of colors. So it's better to use few, and yeah, they will also look good. They
Okay,
will.
okay. Okay, I think the next product that we have for the case study is really
Yes.
more important. That is really good work that I have seen. So let's try to show the audience that part as well.
So this is the product here. I have, it's a food thermometer. It's actually a very simple product. It's just it's the probe which you just uh, inject into something and it tells the temperature, what's the temperature of the thing itself. It's mostly used for actually by the chefs, uh, or in this is a very kitchen product. You can use in the kitchen home product. So this is the image for main image, and here is showing the features of the product itself, like how many features, what are the function of these buttons are. So these line shows the feature of each part. These dots it indicates that what the purpose of each and everything is.
Yeah, I think the color selection is really awesome in this product image.
Yeah. So it's actually black, and we're going in black and red color. Previously was going with green, and yeah, taking the green and white. Nice black and red. So here it's talking about its response time, accuracy, using some few of the infographics with it. The things start looking better. It's not like you're just writing the text, so it's better to use few of the icons with it, with the images itself, so it will look
Yeah.
more attractive. This is also that the dimension image, how big is the probe is. So you actually your customer should know that what's the length of it, so that it may not be problematic for them. So there should not be any kind of miscommunication in it. So it's better to write just the dimension, what are the dimensions of your product are. So in this we are just showing that how easy the product is to use. It's simple. You have to just insert into it, clean it, and insert into it, into any food, and read the temperature of it. So that's how in 4 steps you can just know the temperature of any food. Again, a feature image showing it's waterproof, very responsive product, and here we are showing it at different conditions. Like you can use in the kitchen, you can hang it, you can take in place into your drawer or place it on a shelf. So this image is showing your product into different conditions. I, yeah, here it's telling about like in which kind of the food you can use it. So these are some of the main items for which the food thermometer is used for. It can be used for anything, but for widely used applications, yeah, for that ones we have used some of the icons representing that you can just inject into it and know the temperature. So coming towards the EBC, so this one is our display banner, we say it, in which we actually display our product while using it. Here again, few of the infographics. We are actually telling the story about our product. It's very fast, very accurate, water resistant, and very light in weight itself. A few more infographics showing more details about the product. So you are engaging your customer to purchase the item. So you are telling more and more and more by showing it in different scenarios in the kitchen, and for what the product can be used for. So this banner you see here is actually 970 by 300. Uh, so it's all about the requirement of the product and how much the data you want to put into your email. It's full width, but it's a smaller half in the height. So here it's showing the portability of it, how easy to carry it. So here a few telling about the product. Yeah. So it's you, if you want to tell a story of your product, if you want to write something about your product, you can write on the image itself. So again it can look good, rather than placing a long paragraph into the in the bottom of it. So it's better to write a good title, big title, and then talk about the product.
Yeah, these are really great images, and I'm sure the conversion of the listings will be very high. And for the audience who wants to connect with Mr. Fajan and his team, you can just, I'll attach his LinkedIn profile URL below this video. You can just contact his team or him directly. And I think it was a great presentation, Mr. Faizan. The case study you have provided is going to really help the audience and the sellers and brands. And next time when we'll have Mr. Faizan here, I'll probably ask him to bring more case studies so that we can learn more through this. Obviously, due to less time, Mr. Faizan is really working a lot of clients right now, and so tight schedule. And sure, Mr. Faizan, we'll again have you in
Yeah,
other session. Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
It's
you
nice
have
to
anything to
have
say
you.
to our audience?
Thank you, Sammy, for inviting me. Uh, Actually, I don't have anything to say, but yeah.
Okay, that's great. So thank you, Mr. Fajan. Thank you for joining. I will
Okay,
again try to organize another session with you with a lot more case studies,
okay,
and
okay.
we should probably
Sure.
end this session here. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sammy, so much taking out the
Yeah,
time.
bye. Take care.